Hello, Jacob here. And finally, 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 after three, count them, 1, 2, 3 weeks after purchasing this, it finally came in the mail. This right here. And, yeah, so, like I say, you've probably heard in my last few videos how I've been waiting on this particular thing, but again, 3 weeks after ordering it. And by the way, this is from the Minnesota Vikings Pro Shop, which according to this is Legends Global Merchandise out of Indianapolis, Indiana. Pretty much what that tells me is I get a lot of the same stuff from like Fanatics and that. Anyway, again, I'm not like a merchandising guy or, not exactly sure how all that ties in together or this, that, or the other thing, but all I do know is it usually comes from around the same place. And, yeah, so, finally I got this thing in the mail. And like I say, this was ordered from the Vikings Pro Shop. And this was a clearance jersey, by the way, kids. This was a clearance jersey. This wasn't like a custom, this wasn't a pre-order, this was a clearance jersey. That, ironically enough, they still have quite a few of these online for like $20. So I paid about $20 for it. Everything said and done, about $28, $29. So, I mean, not bad overall, but again, the thing that really got me was the 3 weeks. I mean, I know that, Labor Day and all that stuff was thrown in there too, and after calling the Vikings Pro Shop a couple times, they're pretty damn busy. So, and I get all that, but at the end of the day, I'm just thankful I finally have this thing. Oh, man. Again, 3 weeks of waiting. And there was a couple weeks there where I wasn't even sure if it was going to ship ever, so. But, again, it's finally here. And anyway, with all that preamble aside here, let's go ahead and open this bad boy up. So, yeah, this particular jersey right here is of a former first-round draft pick for the Minnesota Vikings. Well, let's just say, again, just like a lot of our first-round draft picks over the last, I'd say, 6 seasons or so, kind of frustrating, kind of just a lot of wasted potential, in my opinion. Now, whether or not it's just because we tried to force him into a role he wasn't good at, or he just wasn't ready for it, or whatever the case might be here, but this particular player, like I said before, was one of our first-round draft picks. And the particular year he was a first-round draft pick was the 2016 NFL Draft. And as you can see here, here it is. Like I say, that's the receipt and all that stuff, but... And... yeah, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. I bought myself a Laquan Treadwell jersey. Oh, boy. Yep. It was a Laquan Treadwell jersey, and this... Again, I never hated Treadwell per se. For me, it was just a case of, I don't know if he just, like, if the role we tried to put him in as the number one receiver was not his role, you know what I mean? Because, he just never really added up for us. But, again, he has a lot of talent. I mean, to be fair, though, that 2016 receiver class, outside of, like, 2 or 3 of them, was not really all that great. But to be fair, though, at that time, though, the Vikings had a glaring need at receiver 1. We still had Teddy Bridgewater. Before that whole... Anyway. Like I say, I could go on like a 20-minute tangent, I already kind of have, about this team and just all the bad luck that seems to follow this team. But anyway. Before this riles me up too much more. Can you tell I'm a passionate fan? Anyway, here it is. It is a Nike game jersey, size 2X, and, yeah, so, I mean, that's your basic Nike game jersey, if you know anything about Nike game jerseys. Just, the sublimated, screen printed, vinyl pressed front. I'm still not exactly 100% sure what you call it, because it's not screen printed, but it's not stitched. It's like the heavy vinyl pressing. And yeah, I mean, overall, solid jersey. And as far as the update on Laquan Treadwell, last I heard he was on the practice squad for Jacksonville. So hopefully maybe he can get some playing time. Maybe he can keep going here because, again, I never hated Treadwell. I mean, a lot of Vikings fans never really hated Treadwell. It was just more of a case of just frustration. Even though he did have he actually had a couple of big plays for us. Mainly the biggest one, in my opinion, was that play in Seattle where he was wide butt naked open. I mean, I could have caught that. With how open he was, and he scampered into the end zone for like a 50-plus yard touchdown, which got us back into that game. So that would have been 2019. And, yeah, I mean, again, not really much else to say about Laquan Treadwell. Again, it's just frustration with him for me because he was always a decent receiver. I mean, he always seemed like he had potential, but it's just, I don't know if, for whatever reason, if it was just lack of development, or maybe he wasn't as good as we all thought he was, or just the fact that he was drafted in the first round. I mean, player expectations are definitely different. Now, if he was like a 6th or a 7th round pick like BC Johnson was, who knows? Then, the expectations would be different, but again, yeah, I mean, what more can you say? So, yeah, till we meet again, this is Jacob. Have a good day.